DotSale. This is Unpack, the album, The Truth or the Lie.
How's it going, y'all?
I always smell like East Saint Laurent or Rose or Parfum Oud. My teeth are clean, floss no food. Body when it's naked looks like a statue, no jewels.
This ain't all the way mixed down.
Art, no tools. I use more brain power than the average human, no fool. My cock works hard like a chicken fight, so cruel. I'll never work like a slave for you, no mule. Born in 87, but use premium fuel. I don't hold grudges with brothers, it's cool. Never got indoctrinated, still learn my academics in school. I'm black, and I can swim in a pool. I'll get over our relationship quick like a black cat firework. When you gaslighted me, it was swift like a Twix high split. When you threatened to replace me with whatchamacallit, that was it. Confidence, I don't lie no matter the consequence. I got confidence, I'll put the work in to obtain opulence. Confidence, I'm an independent thinker, autonomous. I got confidence, I'll do my best in anything I participate in. Confidence, in my live stream for the night.
Then I'm chilling playing PS5
or one of my other consoles. Lady, I'm not driving your Chevrolet Tahoe, and I don't want to move in your house.
I got a condo.
I won't stay overnight, cause I can't fall asleep there. Your mattress ain't comfy enough. I'm used to Tempur-Pedic Plus. You've already had other men's needing it, yuck. It wasn't luck. I was prepared when my opportunity came up. You're the fool that believes that I made it abrupt. I don't take shortcuts, I always give it 100% like a buck. I had to cut my last relationship and reconstruct. Now she ain't on this team like a Milwaukee Buck. She wanted to test free agency for a Brinks truck, like Isaiah Thomas, to only end up in intended contract with the Suns. Confidence, I don't lie no matter the consequence. I got confidence, I'll put the work in to obtain opulence. Confidence, I'm an independent thinker, autonomous. I got confidence, I'll do my best in anything I participate in. Confidence.
How is it going, y'all? How's it going, family? We got a lot we got to talk about today. I want to play that song first. I'm gonna play it again, maybe like halfway throughout the stream. I'll let y'all check it out again and get some more people in here. Still early. It's early in the day. We got a lot we got to get to. I think I want to start out. Why don't we start out with some quick news? Let's get the quick news out the way now before we get into some of the heavier stuff. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's see what's going on with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta. Some call him Gervonta. Gervonta, however you want to pronounce it. He was caught. He was caught. He was arrested by Miami Gardens police after he was on the run for allegedly committing domestic assault. Let's check it out.
And this just in, Miami Gardens police say they've arrested Gervonta Davis. The pro boxer was wanted for a domestic violence incident that happened back in October. Detectives say a woman, allegedly in a relationship with Davis since 2022, claims he pulled her hair, grabbed her throat, and forced her down a stairway before she escaped. U.S. Marshals helped take Davis into custody earlier today in Miami. He'll be charged with battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping.
Yeah, they got Davis. So we'll follow the story a little bit and see what's going on. At first, they were saying that he was trying to take flight out of the country, and he scattered back to Miami where he was arrested. And he'll most likely make bail soon enough, and he'll be back on the streets. But when are we going to see him back in the boxing ring? Because, a guy like Davis.
With Davis, detectives.
Right here, he actually had his belt relinquished because he hasn't been trying to defend his title. And also they're saying because of the ongoing legal issues as well. And remember, Gervonta Davis actually was supposed to fight Jake Paul, and it was a bad thing for Jake Paul, actually, because of that, Jake Paul got his whole entire jaw cracked by a much stronger and more powerful fighter. Possibly not better than Davis overall, but from a power standpoint, he was able to dislocate and break the jaw of Jake. Or was it Logan? No, I'm pretty sure it was Jake. I get them mixed up. So, you know, and he was supposed to get a big bag for that too. And he left all that money on the table. So, yeah, we'll keep it with Davis and see what happens. I did want to talk about, because January is usually like the coldest month of the year, and we did go through a lot of issues with the weather over the past weekend, and that might happen again. The news is going to help us out a little bit, understanding what we can do in the cold weather. It's a quick video. Let's just watch it real quick to make sure that we're refreshed. I could use it myself, so let's go ahead and see what they got to say.
Short cold snaps can be dangerous. So tonight our Nye Remy continues our Team 12 coverage with some reminders. Nye, what are some of the things we need to keep in mind?
Well, Mark, the Red Cross says it's not just about being uncomfortable, it's about safety, especially inside the home and for vulnerable residents. The Red Cross says now is the time to prepare. Now, the Red Cross officials say extreme cold increases the risk of home fires and hypothermia, especially when people turn to unsafe ways to heat up their home. They also warn cold snaps like this can make it harder for seniors and people with disabilities to access food, medication, and medical care.
Making sure that you're never using an oven or a stove or a grill to heat your home. And it might sound funny on the surface, but we see this happen time and time again, that people get desperate. Power's out, or when it's really cold outside, they find those alternate ways. So sometimes that's opening your oven, even if it's just for a little while. Don't do it.
And the Red Cross said,
see, I didn't growing up, heat was an issue. And so growing up for us, we would have gas and electric, and the bills would be separated. So sometimes the gas would be actually paid for by maybe like the property, you know, it might be bundled in. But the electric you always have to take care of. Electricity is always gonna go in the name of the person that is renting a house or home or apartment. So a lot of times when we had gas stoves, which you see a lot more electric stoves now, when we had gas stoves, we would use the stove to heat the house because we didn't want to burn up electricity using like baseboard heaters and things like that. So instilled in some of us is to use a gas stove to heat the house, and they're saying you shouldn't do that. So keep that in mind.
Says they're closely monitoring conditions and coordinating with local partners this weekend. They're urging people to take advantage of warmer moments during the day to prepare for this weekend before those temperatures drop.
So, Nye, overall, I guess the message is to think about these things in advance and prepare early.
Yeah, Mark, exactly. Even small steps now can help prevent emergencies later into the weekend.
Good to keep it in mind. Nye, thank you so much. You can also contact your power company for more advice. The Red Cross says if you need their assistance, you should dial 1-800-RED-CROSS. You can also dial 311 to learn about other resources.
So they're saying keep the Red Cross's number on speed dial. So go ahead and put in 1-800-RED-CROSS. I'm just guessing. No, I don't think that's a number. But make sure you got Red Cross definitely as an option if anything happens. We'll probably run into some more bad weather coming up soon. And just this latest wave did claim the lives of many people within the United States. And we'll probably get some bad weather in February as well. So let's go into that more prepared. Because although I'm not going to show it on this video, there are plenty of people that were buying everything out of Walmarts and Targets and Costco's and Sam's Club. I mean, grabbing like ridiculous amounts of water and toilet paper and essentials and leaving it basically dry and barren for everyone else. So there was a video of a lady that was trying to shop with her kid, and there was nothing on the shelves. Actually, I'll find it for you at some point. in the stream, so be looking for that. But yeah, let's all be careful as we start heading into spring. And I have a really good story at the end of this that is going to talk about spring. So it's going to warm us up a little bit after we look through all of these crazy stories that we got today. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on. We'll jump in real quick. You know, I think a lot of these riots and protests that are going on right now are fatiguing to a lot of people. You got to imagine that the people that are on the ground actually protesting every single day have to be worn out, but they continue to go out there and fight for their cause. Whether you agree with them or not, you know, this is something that is weighing on everybody in one way or another. So we did have some hotel riots, which I think, you know, moved past peaceful protests when you had individuals destroying hotel signs and basically standing outside of hotels that sometimes didn't even have anything to do with ICE. So let's go ahead and see what the new developments are as far as people getting arrested because of it.
Involving multiple anti-ICE protests, both inside and outside hotels across the country. Within the last 2 days, federal and local law enforcement making dozens of arrests in several states. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us for a closer look tonight, Jeff. And we know this surge in hotel protesting, it's expanding well beyond Minnesota. Tell us more about the cities targeted and the new arrests.
So New York is another area being targeted by anti-ICE protesters. Over 65 people were arrested on Tuesday after a
My fault. I meant to say hi, Lola. I hope your day is going very, very well, and I hope you enjoy our show today.
Protests broke out in the lobby of a Hilton in Tribeca. Those arrests following the over 2 dozen in Maple Grove, Minnesota on Monday outside of Marriott, where protesters thought Border Patrol was staying. The NYPD confirming at least 65 people were arrested Tuesday after this protest broke out in the lobby of the Hilton Garden Inn in Tribeca. Those in attendance protesting the hotel chain's alleged housing of ICE agents.
Hilton is housing the modern-day Gestapo. While people are being murdered on the street and kidnapped, they are resting peacefully up there.
The justice group Planet Over Profit posting this video on X showing dozens of those protesters holding signs and chanting in the lobby.
No one is illegal. Power to the people.
Officers say the crowd blocked pedestrian access and repeatedly refused orders to leave, leading to their arrest.
Hold on real quick.
Officers say the crowd blocked pedestrian access and repeatedly refused orders to leave, leading to their arrests. A spokesperson for New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani issuing this statement, writing in part, quote, Mayor Mamdani commends the protesters who exercised their right to protest against ICE today, adding the mayor is also pleased with the NYPD's response to the protest and that today's demonstration concluded without violence. Former DHS senior advisor Charles Marino telling the National News Desk he believes when it comes to these hotel protests, the DOJ and all law enforcement agencies are going to want to connect the dots.
So that means now going from just arresting the people to now also issuing search warrants for things like bank accounts.
Steps, he says, are important to better understand possible coordination and funding sources.
The extent that these individuals are part of larger organizations and how these larger organizations are interconnected and how these individuals are being funded.
Now, the arrests in New York City also come just a day after 26 people, many of whom have criminal records, were arrested outside of Spring Hill Suites Marriott in Maple Grove, Minnesota, where protesters thought Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino was staying.
Step back! Move back! Stand down!
Local police saying the situation escalated when they began damaging property and throwing objects at officers. Attacks Marino tells us need to be investigated.
DOJ and law enforcement are going to have to get to the bottom of this to really understand what kind of threat this represents.
Now, earlier this month, Hilton also severed ties with a franchised hotel in Lakeville, Minnesota, after the property repeatedly refused to provide rooms to ICE agents. Attorney General Pam Bondi announcing earlier today as well the arrest of 16 Minnesota rioters for allegedly assaulting law enforcement. Reporting.
What's playing in the back? Oh, I got you. Oh, let me turn that down. Yeah, you know, like, honestly, I think it's very, very. I don't like how the protesters are not being strategic. Like, they're out here just like winging it. Just, they have no legitimate intel on where Greg Bovino was at. He's left Minnesota at this point, and Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad. I mean Tom Homan. He is in Minnesota now, leading the charge for ICE. And I wonder if the protesters will come at Holman the same way that they've came at Greg. Holman actually had a presser earlier today, and he took a much different approach than Greg. He's less inflammatory in the way that he speaks. He is definitely dodgy when it comes to questions, whereas Bovino will answer the question straight up. Holman chooses not to answer questions straight away, and he seems a little more reasonable within his tactics, but you know, he's not much different than Bovino. The protesters that are destroying hotels that don't even have the people of interest in them are absolutely ridiculous. So they needed to be arrested for their actions, and even if the ICE agents that they were looking for were in there, I just think that you're kind of crossing the line at that point. It'd be no different if ICE agents or the agencies came to disrupt you after you got done protesting and you're trying to go back and rest. Then they come and attack you at your home where you're supposed to rest. There has to be some type of, in war, there still has to be some type of respect and order even within it. So you'll even see, like, I mean, if you ever watch Game of Thrones, like, they understood. They let you know, like, when they're going to be attacking you. For the most part, there was some people that were, they were snakes, right? And didn't follow the order. But for the most part, like, when everybody's prepared and ready to clash, that's when you have those battles. But, you know, at some point we all got to sleep. That's necessary for all human beings. So I just think, like, attacking them at the hotels is a little bit overboard. But that's just me. Because if it happens to you, it's the same way, right? Like, you know, you got your kids at home probably, which you probably should be at home with them, but you're all protesting, fair enough. But then when you go back with your kids, the last thing you want is for ICE to come in there and disrupt you and possibly arrest you. All right, well, we're going to move on from all of that. Do y'all want to get to, do we want to go Omar first, or do we want to go, let me see. Oh, and also I do have Trump on watch right now. We got Trump on watch. He's gonna come out and make some live statements. So I do have this in the background. When he comes out to speak, we're gonna watch this live. So we will interrupt wherever we're at in the show to watch this live and get remarks from the president in real time. So I do have this on watch, and I'm watching it in the background, and we will go directly in to the president when he decides to speak. It looks like outside, possibly in D.C. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go into the Sonya Massey. Let's go into the Sonya Massey. I think I got it up here somewhere. Let me find it real quick. Where's the Sonya Massey story at? Okay, I got it right here. Yeah, I got the Sonya Massey story right here. So, a quick refresher. Let's go ahead and play this first story. This is kind of going to refresh us. And then we are going to see the verdict of what this officer got in the murder of Sonya Massey. Since he was convicted, we can call it murder now.
Back, a former Illinois sheriff's deputy convicted of fatally shooting a black mother of two will be sentenced later today. In October, a jury found Sean Grayson guilty of second-degree murder in the 2024 death of Sonya Massey. He faces up to 20 years in prison and is expected to serve at least half of that time. Body camera footage showed Grayson shot Massey after she said, quote, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," while lifting a pot of boiling water. He and another officer were responding to a call from Massey about a possible prowler outside of her home. CBS News national correspondent Jerika Duncan joins me in studio. You've covered this trial extensively, Jerika, and been in contact with so many members of the Massey family. And I remember you reporting that they were disappointed when Grayson was initially found guilty of second-degree murder instead of first-degree murder. So then how are they feeling now ahead of the sentencing? What do they want? They are so exhausted. I think they're completely still saddened. I don't think the reaction changes when I asked Sonya Massey, which is the cousin and has been the spokesperson for the family. They've been in and out of court. They're constantly talking about it, and they have to live with this for the rest of their lives. So to answer your question, I think they're hoping for the best, and the best that Sonya said would be that 20-year maximum, but understanding that under Illinois law, second-degree murder, there's a possibility of probation. It's probation to 20. Legal experts say they'll likely get somewhere between 4 and 20 years. But I did get a chance to speak to Sonya, and we spoke about just sort of his expectation in reference to the sentencing today. How much time do you think Sean Grayson will get behind bars?
Well, of course we want the max, but there is a climate across the country that we really don't align with. Some of us don't. I'm hoping to be happy tomorrow afternoon, but I just don't know at this moment. We know that it's not up to us. We are a praying family, and we know it's, ultimately God's decision as to how he wants to handle this situation.
So again, just to give you a sense of what to expect, Sonya told me that Sonya Massey's 16-year-old daughter has a statement ready, her 19-year-old son, Malachi, as well as both of her parents, Mr. James Wilburn, as well as her mother, Donna Massey. So we expect that the judge will He will be saying some stuff that just doesn't resonate with me. But let's go ahead and go into the sentencing and see how much time he got. They were predicting anywhere from 4 to 20 years. The attorney said that, was this the attorney? This might be the attorney. He said it was in God's hands. We got the verdict right here.
Convicted of killing Sonya Massey in 2024, has been handed down the maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Grayson was found guilty of second-degree murder last October for the killing of the unarmed mother of two. Body camera video from the night of the shooting captured the moment Grayson responded to a 911 call from Massey about a possible prowler outside her home. He claimed she was acting erratically and threatened him with a pot of boiling water before he fatally shot her. The footage showed Massey apologizing and ducking for cover before those shots rang out. CBS News reporter Karen Hua is outside the courthouse in Springfield with the latest. Karen, how did Sonya Massey's family react to the sentencing?
Hey, Lindsay, so the Massey family was overjoyed and relieved. You have to imagine they've been waiting about 2 years for this sentence, and they say this ultimately proves that no one is above the law. However, they say that there will never be full justice for Sonya Massey, but they do believe this maximum sentencing is the best case scenario. Take a listen at what Sonya's 16-year-old daughter and her father had to say.
I'm grateful that we got the maximum sentence that we could. 20 years is not enough, but they did what they thought, they did what they could do.
I just want to say that we serve an awesome God, because never in the history of these United States has a law enforcement officer been given this kind of sentence, a maximum sentence of 20 years. We don't think that's enough. And the law needs to be changed here in Illinois so that there's a greater value placed on second-degree murder here in the state. But right now, I am just overwhelmed with joy.
Now, the Massey family wants Grayson prosecuted federally for violation of civil rights crimes. Lindsay?
Grayson had a chance to speak in court before the sentence was read. What did he say?
I wonder if they got a lawsuit.
Yeah, Grayson was mostly stoic throughout the hour in court today, but he did get quite emotional when the judge allowed him to speak toward the end. He ultimately apologized, saying that he was unprofessional the night of the incident, he made mistakes, and said that what happened to Sonya Massey should have never happened. Ultimately, his lawyer did ask for a sentence of probation, which essentially means no prison time. His lawyer arguing that there's little to no chance Grayson would ever do this again, considering he's also battling stage 4 cancer right now. But the judge still decided on the maximum sentence of 20 years, saying he wants to set a precedent. He wants to deter others from acting the same way under these similar circumstances. Grayson's team did file a motion to reconsider this sentence, and that will happen on March 3rd. Ultimately, for Grayson, if he does serve this full 20 years in prison, he'll be 51 by the time he gets out. Lindsay?
Karen Hua, thank you.
Damn, he was young. 51. So, let's see. So he was about what, like his late 20s when he killed her? Like 28, 29. Goes to prison at 31. He'll be 51 when he gets out. Wow. I think that this case was very, very unfortunate just by the way that, and I don't know if everybody kept up on it, but the basis of it was that this woman called the police because I believe she thought there was a burglar in her home, and the officers responded.
20 years is not enough, but
and at some point they began to, and you can see it here, where they are at her door, and at some point, instead of them worrying about the victim, they started to treat the victim like the suspect. And this lady might have been a little bit off key, but definitely did not deserve to be killed in that situation. There was threats of boiling water being tossed at the officers at different points, and I believe that was the trigger point for the officer. And he ended up shooting and killing her. And the crazy part about it is his partner was there, and his partner thought that he acted irrationally, and his partner was probably one of the main reasons that he ended up getting convicted and getting the max, because his partner did not have his back at all in this situation and thought that he acted very sporadically and was out of control. So I think it's the right thing. It's always tough when you're in a position of law enforcement of any kind, military, law enforcement, to make these decisions, but some cross the line, and I believe this was a case that did cross the line, and he'll pay for it with 20 years of his life, maybe a little bit more than that. So that's what we got on the Sonya Massey verdict, and that was kind of a big deal because, honestly, nobody thought that was going to happen. We were all expecting for him to get the minimum, might even possibly just get probation and get off altogether. So I think we're all pretty much shocked by that. Some people will say it's God. I think people made natural decisions to give him the maximum sentence, and they somewhat made an example of him, in all honesty. And I think that a lot of it also has to do with everything else that's going on in America. The recent killings in Minnesota might actually have had an impact on his case. If he would have got sentenced a month ago, it might have been a lighter sentence, honestly. I think everything has to do with everything at this point. And so it's kind of crazy. When you think about it, because I want to go to this story with this Brooklyn woman that had her house broken into. And a case like Sonya Massey, as we go into this case, it actually really does translate to the point where you had single woman in her home alone by herself. And I want to look at a situation where when a woman is in her home by herself, how she reacts to danger in those situations. And then this woman didn't have the cops there at that time. And, let's see how she reacted. I think it's really interesting. And we still got Trump on watch right now. It looks like there's a little more activity. So we will pull this up live when he takes the podium. But let's go ahead and check this story out for now. Let's check this story out. This one's interesting. Let's break it down.
A Brooklyn woman says that her sense of safety has been shattered after a person broke into her apartment while she was home. News 12's Morgan Scott spoke with the Flatbush resident who says, crazy enough, she actually recognized the home invader.
It was supposed to be a normal Monday night for Victoria Minervino as she finished up a work meeting on her couch. But once she got up, she found an unexpected visitor.
I came in the kitchen and she was already in my kitchen. I didn't even hear the door open.
She says this woman on your screen was in her apartment, searching through her purse for who knows how long, quietly getting past the front door to the building and then inside this apartment.
I just screamed and told her to get the F out of my house. And she bolted down the stairs. Before, like this, you could just wiggle it and it was loose.
Tenants in this building say this door has been faulty for the last 8 years, but it wasn't until this recent invasion that something was finally done. Since the incident, businesses nearby have to help police find the person who broke in. Oddly enough, Minervino says she is believed to be experiencing homelessness and is known around the area.
Easy to spot.
In fact, Victoria has lent her a helping hand before.
You never know what somebody's situation is, but also you can't be overly assumptive that it's a safe person and that it's a safe situation. It does suck that the only option was to call the police and now have to have this woman arrested.
As she now sleeps with one eye open, she's also preparing to move out, but warning her neighbors without that option to be extra careful. In Flatbush.
Yeah. One of the things I wonder about, and I know there's a lot of women that are against firearms, but I think it's one of the only equalizers that can put them in a situation to protect themselves from break-ins. In this situation, it was a woman that broke into her house, which is less likely. More than likely, it'd be a man that would break into your house. But I do think that to make themselves have a fighting chance, and I would say this for men too, honestly. I would say this for myself as well, that you want to have a firearm if you're going to be, especially if you're going to be living alone single. Like it's just you, so you don't even have the backing of another person. If you live in a house full of people, I mean, maybe it's a little bit different, or you got two people in the household, male, woman, whatever. Then it might be a little bit different, but by yourself, I just feel like you're in such a vulnerable position and not have anything to protect you. And a lot of people say, well, I got a bat, I got a hammer, I got a knife. I don't think that's enough, especially if the criminal has a gun. And a lot of times you get one swing of a knife, maybe two. Definitely if it's like a bat or something like that, you're going to be able to swing it one time. And if you miss, then you'll be overpowered most of the time. And the criminal has to drop on you, right? They're amped up, they're ready to go. I mean, you're usually in a vulnerable position in your home. Sometimes you're not wearing clothes. you're not tactically prepared for action. Might even been drinking or something like that. So might be smoking, might be high in there, prescription medication. So I just think like it's something that we should look at a little bit more as far as protection. Because in my opinion, I don't believe guns are the problem. I believe stupid people that have guns are the problem. But that's just me. I think we can get into some of these other stories. I got a break that I want to. We're gonna take a break in a second, but first, let's go ahead and check out. You want to get to the? Let's go. Let's go to the Ilhan Omar. Ilhan. Is it Ilhan or Ilhan? They'll probably say it. Let's go to her situation real quick because there was an update. Let's start here where she addressed the attack, and then we actually figured out what the substance was that she was attacked with. And that's very interesting. Some people have different takes on this. I'll give mine at the end.
A stranger at a town hall. Tonight, the suspect behind bars awaiting formal charges. This is Omar speaks publicly again this evening. She hosted another event in Minneapolis tonight to talk with Somali business owners about the impact of ICE operations in the city.
But there was still a lot of buzz about last night's confrontation. Our Mike Manzoni was there this evening at the event, and Mike, she says she is not backing down.
And no, but Randy and Kelsey, she did have noticeable security on hand with her tonight. At least one man from her security team stood just feet away from her the whole night. I asked the Congresswoman if she blames President Trump's recent remarks about her for last night's attack. She told me when he's in office, her death threats go up.
At every time the President of the United States has chosen to use hateful rhetoric to talk about me and the community that I represent, my death threats skyrocket. I became a freshman who nobody should have actually known I existed because I wielded no power, to having the most death threats of any member of Congress.
The Congresswoman did not mention the man who attacked her, but she says she needs 24/7 security because of what the president says about her. Still, she doesn't plan on scaling back public events because of what happened last night.
I wouldn't be where I am at today, having to pay for security, having the government to think about providing me security if Donald Trump wasn't in office and if he wasn't so obsessed with me. I think my presence here should tell you that...
She making Nicki Minaj jealous. Nicki ain't gonna like to hear that, Omar. Nicki's Donald Trump's boo thing. Got her the gold card. Hooked her up. They walked out holding hands, Nicki and Trump. Nicki Minaj. She about to get her husband off. Clemency. Pardon. All in order for the husband that's possibly alleged to have done things with children. But for me, like, you see the women and they are becoming more aggressive and more militant in the way that they are trying to move at this point. And I think it's quite interesting where you actually see the men starting to fall back and the women starting to take charge and be very aggressive, even to the point where you've seen Omar. Do we got the clip? She actually attacks and attempts to attack her attacker. I think we got it in the second one. Yeah, let's go to the second one and see if we can see that. She showed no fear whatsoever of this man. But right here, they're going to talk about the substance that was actually sprayed on her. We'll let them tell it.
Town hall event shortly after Omar condemned DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, joining us. This was all caught on camera. Jeff, following the incident, lawmakers on both sides coming to Omar's defense. Break down what we know.
So along with Democratic leaders like Hakeem Jeffries, multiple Republicans immediately speaking out following this incident. South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace calling it deeply disturbing, and New York Congressman Mike Lawler unacceptable. Video during the town hall Tuesday night capturing that moment. The man charged the podium, you see it right here, where Omar had just finished calling for the resignation or impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. That man was identified as 55-year-old James Kazmierczak, reportedly squirting apple cider vinegar on the Congresswoman, who spoke out immediately after that attack.
To allow these people to intimidate us, to make us not fight for our constituents and for the country we love. And as I said, I've survived war, and I'm definitely going to survive intimidation and whatever these people think they can throw at me, because I'm built that way.
While speaking with ABC News Tuesday night, President Trump, without evidence, accusing Omar of staging the attack, saying, quote, "I don't think about her. I think she's a fraud. She probably had herself sprayed knowing her." According to a new report from U.S. Capitol Police, the number of threats related to Congress did rise for a third straight year in 2025. Capitol Police saying it investigated nearly 15,000 cases, up from the over 9,700.
The truth is that when you look at a statement like this from Trump, right, or you even hear Omar as she fires back at Trump, right, where he's saying, "I don't think about her," well, that's obviously a lie. You think about her probably more than you should, because she's your subordinate by a long shot. However, when you go back here and you look at the 14,000 cases of people threatening the government and even trying to take their lives, it should be alarming for everybody. Republicans and Democrats alike. I think the independents probably don't get as many threats, and like the Green, the Tea Party, is it Tea Party, Green Party, the Green one. You know what I'm talking about. They probably get less threats, but Democrats and Republicans are hated by the masses, and I think it'd be better for them to come together and try to figure out a way to work things out where the Americans are happy. We got some action. We got some action by the president right here. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Looks like he's getting ready to speak. We're going to catch this live. Let's see what we got. We'll catch this live. All right, let's get some audio.
We had a good morning, and now we're having a good evening, and we're going to a premiere in a little while. But there's nothing more important.
See what he's talking about. This is live right now. President speaking live.
Today I'm signing a historic executive order to combat the scourge of addiction and substance abuse. Big deal in this country and probably in every country. We're calling it the Great American Recovery Initiative. I'm grateful to be joined by co-chairs of this sweeping new effort, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Senior Advisor to the White House Great American Recovery Initiative, Catherine Burgum. Thank you both very much. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Here's Bobby. Bobby. Oh, Bobby, come here, give me a hand. I love Bobby. You're doing a great job, Catherine, all right? Do we think so? Who's doing a better job, him or your husband? Maybe your husband. He's doing a good job.
I'm just getting started.
They're both doing very well. I know you're going to do better than both of them. Thanks as well to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Secretary Doug Burgum, Secretary Scott Turner, Secretary Doug Collins, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who's got some pretty good news, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary, NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. Oh, I've gotten good at that. You are. Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's doing a fantastic job. And
he's going to be talking about a whole bunch of, he's getting a lot of housekeeping out the way. I was thinking about it, though. Why would a person risk their freedom for possibly multiple years. You can't really attack and they'll say America, everybody's equal in America, but if you attack a government official, those charges are trumped up. Trump's right there. Those charges are trumped up and they're more serious. Whereas if you make that same attack, like if I was walking down the street and somebody grabbed a syringe and scored an apple cider vinegar on me, I probably wouldn't even be able to press charges on the person. It'd be like, you can just throw that in the laundry and it should clean your clothes a little bit better. Apple cider vinegar has a lot of different uses for it. It can be used as salad dressing, marinades, and preservatives. It helps in aiding blood sugar control, weight management, digestion. You can use it to clean. You can use it. I know people that use it to clean. You can actually use it in your hair. Like, I used to have locks. If you've been following me for a long time, you remember when I had the long locks and I looked like Jesus. Still do. Just got my hair cut. I'm what Jesus would look like if he was alive today. He would look just like me. If I got the long hair, it's even closer. Anyways, skin of bronze. But you could use that. So, I did it one time where I cleaned my locks. Because I'm a super clean freak. I got to be clean, right? Got to be clean. I got a lot of very pricey cologne and parfum outside of frame. And so, like, with that, you can use that to, wash out your hair. And I mean, it really was good at cleaning my hair. I used a little bit of baking soda in there as well. And, really got deep into the locks because it's hard to, get in there and clean locks out really well. And the apple cider vinegar worked quite well. But yeah, it has a lot of different uses. Very, very useful and probably used in a lot of products. All right, let's see if Trump is getting anything interesting now.
Addiction, recovery, treatment, and prevention. And it will help mobilize the full resources and authority of the federal government to help stop this tremendous plague. And I'd now like to invite Secretary Kennedy to start, and then Catherine Burgum, and then I'll sign the order, which I've just signed. And wanted to make sure the signature was good. Took my time, and let me just see. Pretty good, not pretty good. Let's give it a 10, okay? For Catherine. But I'd like Bobby to say a few words, and Catherine. Thank you very much, everybody. Please.
Mr. President, thank you for your leadership, for signing an executive order that tells the truth about one of the greatest challenges that our country faces. Addiction is not a moral failure. It is a disease. It's chronic. It's treatable. And for too long, our nation has responded with fragmentation, with stigmatization, and silence instead of science, compassion, and coordination. Today, President Trump changes that. With the Great American Recovery Initiative, we finally bring the full strength of the federal government together across healthcare, law enforcement, housing, labor, faith communities, and the private sector to save lives, restore families, and rebuild communities that addiction has hollowed out. Nearly 50 million Americans suffer from substance use disorder. Many never receive treatment. Even more don't believe that help is possible. That is not because recovery doesn't work. It's because our systems have failed to reach the people where they are early enough, long enough, and with dignity. This initiative fixes that. We will align federal programs instead of letting them operate in silos. We will set clear, measurable goals and report honestly to the American people. We will use evidence-based care, modern science, and continuous support, just as we do for heart disease, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. We will focus on prevention before addiction takes hold. We will intervene early. We will expand access to treatment that leads to real long-term recovery. And we will support re-entry because recovery does not end when treatment ends. It succeeds when people return to their families, their jobs, and their communities with purpose and with hope. As co-chair of this initiative alongside of Catherine Burgum, whose leadership and commitment strengthens this work. I pledge urgency, accountability, and honesty. Catherine and I share the experience of having been addicted and long-term recovery. But almost everybody in this room and almost everybody in our country has been touched by addiction. Steve Witkoff, who's here, had an extraordinary son, Andrew, who was a superstar boy, a straight A student, an athlete, and a wonderful leader, and lost that son to addiction. President Trump has talked about his own family's struggle with addiction. All of us are touched. If it touches these people, it can hurt every American. And President Trump has often talked about, with compassion, about the families who lose children to this disease. 100,000 children a year until recently. Now it's about 76,000. Those families are devastated forever. And the cost of it to our country, not only in dollars, but in just the malaise and the despair that it imposes, is incalculable. We are going to listen to states, localities, frontline providers, and tribal nations. We will partner with communities and faith-based organizations. We will work with employers, clinicians, and recovery leaders who know what works on the ground. President Trump has already acted decisively, securing the border against deadly drugs, signing the Halt Fentanyl Act, strengthening treatment programs, expanding access to naloxone, medication-assisted treatments, and investing billions in prevention and recovery. This executive order builds on that record and accelerates it. Recovery is not a side issue, it's an economic issue, a workforce issue, a family issue, a national security issue. When Americans recover, communities grow stronger. When families heal, children thrive. And when we confront addiction with courage instead of complacency, we reclaim the promise of our country. This initiative is about life, it's about responsibility, and it's about building a great American recovery together. With this executive order and with major announcements that I will announce next week, we are taking decisive action to make America healthy again. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby, and great job. And you're doing a fantastic job. And I saw his wife yesterday, and she confirmed that he's doing a fantastic job. So she's on your side. You know that? She's great. And
Yeah.
thank you for being here. We
He is difficult to listen to, but I like his message.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Your leadership today.
I like what RFK is doing. I really like what RFK is doing, honestly. I think he's setting us in the right direction 100%. I'm in support of mostly everything that he has said for the most part, as far as on the, health and dietary stuff.
And children, especially related to foster care, where early trauma and instability are often consequences of the disease of addiction. Addictions touch this administration in real and profound ways. President Trump, you've openly spoke about your brother Fred, whose struggle with addiction shaped your life and your understanding of this disease. And Susie Wiles carries the lived experience of her father, the late, great Pat Summerall, whose recovery journey became a source of hope for millions. Vice President Vance has shared his story of his mother's battle and recovery. And as Secretary Kennedy just said, he brings his own lived experience, proof that recovery is not theoretical, it is possible. These stories matter because they are not isolated. They reflect the reality.
Y'all think that addiction is more of a first world problem? I'm just wondering, if you look at places in the world that have less resources than America or are more poor than America, if addiction is as prevalent as it is here or in Western countries, more developed countries, right? Because I feel like it could possibly have a lot to do with the abundance that we have and the access.
And I was suicidal at the end of my drinking. One day
Like
I was
alcohol,
out walking
though.
alone. I didn't have
Alcohol.
faith. I wasn't religious, but something in me said I should ask for help. And out loud to no one, because it was just me, I said, I don't know if anyone is there, but I need help. And that was the day I became sober. 15 years later, I found myself somehow standing in front of people as First Lady of North Dakota, thanks to him. But I was asking people to share their stories openly about addiction so we could eliminate the shame and stigma, so more people would reach out for help and more lives could be saved. And today I'm standing here in this incredibly beautiful Oval Office. And if not for the grace of God, I would not be alive today with over 23 years in recovery. That's why I'm here. My message is simple: never give up hope for recovery. Mr. President, I also want to thank you for allowing me to stand here with you today. I was in this building in 2017 when the administration announced the national response.
Does it also take privilege to be able to recover from addiction as well? Like in the same way?
Not because we lack compassion, not because we lack effort.
Like looking at her story, right? She was really placed in a good position to be able to escape and overcome her addiction that she's been sober for the last 23 years.
As real as diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. And when we fail to treat it as such, we don't treat the disease, and we pay mightily for the consequences. Emergency rooms, jails, foster care, overdose deaths, and broken families. The Great American Recovery changes that. This initiative represents a fundamental shift from reaction to prevention, from fragmentation to coordination, from stigma to science, from short-term fixes to long-term recovery. And for the first time, we're aligning federal leadership across health, justice, labor, housing, veterans, social services, the faith office, and education around one single shared truth. When addiction is treated early and correctly, people recover and families heal. Addiction is a generational disease, and if we don't treat it properly, it repeats from parent to child, from community to community. And when we treat it like a lifelong condition, the condition that it is, we stop that cycle. We save lives, we restore families.
Is addiction really hereditary? I mean, I don't know the science on it, but like, I often feel like it's more of an excuse at that point, right? I mean, unless you're forced into it. Like, for instance, like my mother, like she smoked cigarettes. Like I seen her smoke cigarettes the whole entire time I was growing up, right? And that actually didn't make me want to smoke. In a way, it made me not want to smoke. And, you know, she hasn't smoked cigarettes in probably over a decade now. But, you know, she was able to make herself quit, and she did it pretty much without much resistance. She switched brands of cigarettes, went to a more natural cigarette at first. She used to smoke Misties. I don't know if people know about cigarettes. Then she went to like this Native American cigarette type looking thing. I think what they call American Spirits. And then after that, she was able to kick it pretty much out of nowhere. And the crazy thing about it is I actually think that the government helped stop her from smoking. And the reason I say that is because when they made it so you can't smoke everywhere, like remember, I don't know, you used to be able to smoke in like bars and restaurants, on buses, in airplanes. Like you could smoke everywhere in apartment buildings. And now a lot of apartment buildings, condos, they're all smoke free. So only the true fiends are still smoking cigarettes. Like the ones that's willing to go out, and it's winter right now. There's people that'll go out and like 30 below that had a cigarette. They be out there cold as hell. Like it's like, bro, that would be enough for me not to smoke cigarettes. The cold by itself, like I gotta go outside and do all this extra work to smoke. Like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm gonna stay right here in the warmth and play video games. Speaking of which, I wanna go to this part. Let's see this last little part about Trump real quick. See what he's doing.
Great job. Thank you. Steve, please.
We got more guys talking.
The president is doing the same thing to me now that he did to me in 2017. You remember, Catherine?
Yeah, we were sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to tell the story about this. So I came to the opioid.
Yeah, no more stories. No more stories, but they are live right now, so I wanted to go ahead and check them out, see what's going on. I think we've seen enough as far as that. Oh, while we're on politics, though, let's just go ahead and pull this up. And then I want to take a break, and let's just have a little nostalgia kick real quick. But real quick, let's go ahead and see what's going on in Minnesota in the governor's race.
I'm running for this job for every person who wants their work recognized and rewarded. For every Minnesotan who wants to buy their first home. For every parent who wants a better world for their kids. I'm running for everyone who wants more affordable health care. For every student, farmer, dreamer, and builder. And I'm running for every Minnesotan who wants ICE and its abusive tactics out of the state we love.
Klobuchar's launch of her gubernatorial campaign this morning comes less than 1 week after the killing of anti-ICE protester Alex Preddy by federal agents. The lawmaker acknowledged in this announcement, saying that Minnesota has been through a lot.
I don't know why the government, why politicians, they always talk about stuff that really doesn't do anything to help the people. Like, her main talking point in all of this that stood out was that she wants to basically eliminate ICE, right?
Alex Preddy by her gubernatorial
out of the state we love. Who wants ICE and its abusive tactics out of the state we love.
And that's fine, but that should not be what you're running on as one of your main selling points. Because ICE in Minnesota, although annoying and possibly dangerous at times, depending on the encounters that you have with them, is not the main problem that Minnesotans are going to be facing overall, right? ICE is not going to be here forever. I mean, they'll always be here, actually, but it's not going to be at this fever pitch for long. So, you know, there's a lot of other things that should be focused on within Minnesota. And I feel like she didn't speak about any of those things. But regardless, Amy Klobuchar, as Tim Walz said, that he is no longer going to run for governor, and he'll find his way nestled somewhere within the government somewhere else. They'll still use Tim. He just won't be the governor. He can't be the face of Minnesota anymore, based off of all of the fraud and everything that was uncovered, and it's still going on. So they definitely had to get him up out of there. And they're going to put Amy Klobuchar in his place, and more than likely she'll win just because of the way that Minnesota is set up. But I don't necessarily think that is going to be much different than Tim. In all honesty, whatever Tim does, she would probably be an exaggerated version of what he is at this point, unless she's controlled by outside entities. But I think her nature is going to be that of Tim Walz 2.0. So if you agree with Tim, then you're going to love Amy. And if you do not like Tim, well, you're definitely going to not like Amy. And we'll see how it goes. It'll be an interesting race that will probably be a landslide for Klobuchar. It's kind of like the Bulls in the 90s, or if you're more current, the Golden State Warriors in the 2016, 17s, and 18s. I think that was the year where they was like winning all the time. They kept going to the finals with the Cleveland Cavaliers and all that. So she should dominate and win the race pretty easily. Okay, I want to talk about this guy. This guy actually, he put it all on the line. He said he's going to bet his business on a football championship game. College football championship. He put his whole entire career on the line. And let's see what the outcome was. This is very interesting. So we had the college football championship, and this guy put in a bet. He put in a bet, and he put his truck up as collateral, or he sold it. Same difference. So he got $30,000 for his truck, and he subsequently put that $30,000 on the Miami Hurricanes. If you're Chef Ramsay, you call it a hurricane. If you're me, you call it a hurricane. Either way, he decided to put that money parlayed with the over to win $150,000. I don't know if his profit was $120 or if he would have got back $180 in total. But regardless, he was going to make north of $120,000 had he won the bet. Some thought it was a lock. Unfortunately, for this guy, he didn't win. You'll see it right here. He put the bet in. Miami money line and over 48.5 at a plus 500. Odd on the 19th. He didn't win this bet. He lost everything in a split second. He lost his business and all of his cash in less than 2.5 hours because he betted on college football. Now, honestly, if he'd have did the exact opposite of what he did, he would have won. Because unfortunately for him, the over did not hit. And the Miami, Florida Hurricanes lost. The crazy part about it is that they did very well. A lot better than most would have thought because they did cover the spread, which I believe was 8.5. They lost by 6. And made a couple of mistakes and could not stop the quarterback on a very, very clutch down. And ultimately, they went home with the L. But their L is not going to feel as bad as the L that this man took. And gambling is something that is destroying the lives of men young and old, mostly all men, although women are starting to gamble as well too. And I'll be honest, Prize Picks and those parlay sites are the most predatory sites I've ever seen on the face of the earth. And I see a lot of guys, you know, I'm very into athletics, so I'm always around athletes. And the athletes love to gamble on parlays, and they do Prize Picks and DraftKings and all that, where they're betting like Steph Curry will score over 23 points and have an assist, or, you know, Dylan Brooks might get a technical foul or something stupid like that. And then they ultimately lose. Now, I will say this. They don't bet like this guy does. They're not betting 30 grand. They're betting more like $30 at the max. But they just nickel and dime themselves to death. And every once in a while, they'll have a big win and they'll lose it all. And it's mostly just paid entertainment because the majority of them do not win significantly. And even if they do, they end up just betting it back over and over until they end up losing everything. And they're right back into dipping in the well to try to recover their money. And it's just sunken cost fallacy at this point. I believe that gambling regularly is a stupid thing to do. You got to be very dumb to constantly gamble over and over. It is probably one of the biggest wealth killers for young men in America. You're just handing money out to the corporations that are advertising to take your money that you work hard for most of the time. I feel less sorry for the criminals. But when we hear about what they were talking about addiction, this is part of it. This is part of it. They were talking about addiction, and this is part of it. This is an addiction. And it's one that you can't cure, because even when you win, you still lose, because you'll never stop. And the house always wins. Let's see. So moving on from that, just want to show that real quick. Oh, you know what though? I want to actually go back to when times were a little more simple for all of us. Let's go ahead and check out. I like looking at these pictures. These are really fun. Let me pull these up for us real quick. How about we start here? Ooh, that one's good. Yeah, let's start with this one. Take a little break, get away from the madness for a little bit before we get into a couple of other stories before we wrap it up. Check this out. Y'all remember when your house used to look like this? Got the DVDs on the side of the stereo player. Now that stereo right there that we're looking at next to the TV, where the DVDs are next to it, you see one of the speakers are up there at the top above the TV. So that we had like the surround sound, they were all wired. But then the other two speakers that usually you could put right next to the box, you put one way over here and then you put one way over here, right? And you know, you had excellent sound. We got a VCR up at the top. Although I don't see any VHSs there. We do got a DVD player above the TV. The one thing I don't want to go back to is the old TVs. The old TVs sucked. Like the old CRT TVs were terrible. I don't even like playing new games. I'm a gamer. I play retro games and stuff like that. I don't even like playing retro games on the older TVs. Although if you play a game like Duck Hunt, you actually have to use a CRT to play a game like Duck Hunt because the function in the blaster works that way. But a little technical. Let's check out a couple other rooms real quick. I thought this one was cool. Let me get back out of it. Here, let's go right here. I'll just do it like this. Let's see some of the details we got in here. He got it roped off. You got to keep the girls out of there. The girls be coming in and they be messing with the boys. We be in there trying to play video games and the girls want to come in there and mess with us. We had to rope it off. We got the old computer gaming back in the day. Y'all remember Number Munchers in Carmen Sandiego? Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail was fire. You got the blank CDs over there in the corner. You got the tethered controllers for the PS1. But the crazy thing about like the old TVs is like when you looked at them, like back then they seemed huge. Like TV would be like 12 inches, 13 inch. You have a 13-inch TV, it was huge. And if you got a 27-inch, that was like a big, big TV. 27-inch was huge back then. Now I look at my 65 and it doesn't even look big enough. Like I'm like, I need a 100-inch TV. I need my whole wall to be a screen. I had a projector and I was actually going to keep it because I'm like, I just want to project like, the wall that I have. I could basically put up a projection screen that's 150 inches because the wall would support it. And I'm like, I might go that route. I just don't like projection technology exactly yet, but definitely in consideration. But yeah, even 65 is too small for me at this point. Even in a small room, even in like a bedroom, I still feel like I need like a 80-inch. So we've came a long way. We got posters up here: Lord of the Rings, Linkin Park, Matrix. Everybody learned a lot from the Matrix. Red pill, blue pill, which one are you choosing? And then over here on the right side, we this is the same image. We just got a close-up of things. We got magazines in there. If you're looking on the right side of the picture, we got the infamous rug at the bottom that you've seen in every daycare. You've seen those rugs in every daycare. You drive your car in there. I mean, you could have fun with the rug. You put yourself in a whole new environment. Like that rug took you onto the city streets that you were not allowed to play in, so you used the rug. I mean, completely incredible. I used to burn, back in the day, like I used to burn my CDs onto my PlayStation. I used to burn PlayStation games. Yep. Then don't nobody be going and telling the FBI to try to arrest me. I think I'm out of the statute of limitations for that. Maybe not. Maybe not. Y'all wouldn't snitch on me, would you? Cash Patel. Hey, Cash Patel. Don't arrest me, please. Please. You don't got nobody more important to arrest? They might already be running an investigation on me. All right, let's see what else we got. All right. Yeah. Okay. We're moving up a little bit. We got a flat screen here, very small still. What is that? What system is he on? Is that a PlayStation down? No, that's an Xbox. Looks like he's on an Xbox down there. You got the fan in the window. No AC. Fan in the window. Super loud. Annoying. What drink does he have? Anybody recognize that drink? Let me zoom in. That's as far as I can zoom in. I don't know what drink that is. I don't think he's in the U.S. Bro's like somewhere in Germany or something. Like, I don't know what's going on with fam. What game is that? I don't even know what game that is. It's a really cool room. Super messy. Wildlife in the corner. Got his plant back there. Let's see what else we got. This is a very clean setup. Very clean setup. And this is a rich person right here. Like, honestly, to have all of this back then, this is wealthy status right here. Each one of those games is 50 to 60 a pop. You might get it for 30, 39, but let's just put it on average at 40 a game. I mean, 10 games, that's 400. He's got well over, man, you're looking at least like, how much you think is in each row? Like 30 games in each row, possibly, give or take. Got 30 games in each row. So, you know, you look at it and you're just like, bruh. I would estimate, let's go. Let's say anywhere from like 7,000 to 12,000 right there. And that's being very, very conservative. He got the cordless house phone up there. CD burner. He's trying to save some money though, for sure. Nice tower down there. Oh, he's got, yeah, he got money. He got the Dreamcast in the corner. Oh, y'all can't see him. Let me go down. You see right there in the corner? Right there, he's got a Dreamcast and he's got a Nintendo GameCube with the Wavebird wireless controller. Most people had the controllers you had to play. He got the wireless Wavebird controller right there. Is that a box of ammunition on the computer tower? Wireless mouse, it looks like, possibly. Multiple Xbox games. So he's got every system, basically. This is a hell of a setup. This is a dream setup for a young lad. All right. So, yeah. I want to take a break from all the crime and stuff for a little bit. Let's have a little nostalgia kick. All right. Let's go ahead and check out a couple more stories before we get out of here. See, I think we got a couple more. So we got teens out here. We were talking about addiction. We were listening to Trump. We were listening to RFK Jr. They were talking about addiction. These teens out here to do something like this. And I don't think they were doing this for money. I'm pretty sure they were doing this to actually use the drugs and the substances that they're stealing. Let's check it out.
Another smoke shop targeted by vandals. We are seeing what appears to be two teenagers breaking into this Miami business.
Local 10's Gabrielle Arzola is live in Miami with a closer look at the video and what we're learning.
Yeah, high value. Those were the days. Those were absolutely the days. I think they can be recreated in 2026 in a different way. A lot of it is the way that you think about it. When you think about nostalgia, you can still have nostalgia today, right? You can still have nostalgia today. Where'd it go? You can still have this today, but you have to think about it in the right way. We let ourselves be stressed out way too much with things that we can't even control. If you just allow yourself to live free and stop worrying about everything, your life will become much more simple. It'll become much better from a mental standpoint, because your life is like 90% mental. And here's how you know. Because think about somebody that lives in a wheelchair and seems to really have a good time. I was at a basketball game recently, and I seen a person come in there, and they came in a wheelchair, right? And they look like they have not used their legs for a long time. Their legs were pretty much like useless, right? And they had the motorized wheelchair, and they had a person that was with them to help them, but wasn't giving much aid at all. Like, probably just really helping them, in and out of the vehicle. Besides that, they even like found a way to open the door because they had to leave the gym, and they like pushed the door open and, drove out, one hand on the door, other hand on the joystick, like a video game. And in their mind, they were making their day excellent, even though they were in a wheelchair. And then I'm seeing people perfectly healthy that have nothing to worry about in life for the most part, that can walk and have function to both legs. And maybe they are like, well, I want the iPhone 17 and I'm still on the iPhone 14. Like, they're upset about that. They feel like they don't have the latest technology. And this person over here is happier than them, and they're in a wheelchair. So for me, you can still have these days. That's what I'm trying to say. You can still put yourself in this mindset to really enjoy it. I do it every day. I do it every single day. I don't even live in the times that we're in, like, honestly. And that's why, my outlook is a lot different than most. Because it's all mental. It's all up here. So, yeah, you don't got to miss those days. You can still live them if you really want to. But just keep your sanity throughout it all. All right, let's see. Let's go back to where we were at. Where were we? Where was I? I lost where I was at. Was I here? Help me out. I don't know where I went. What were we talking about? I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, yeah, we were here. The kids breaking in. Oh, yeah, the kids breaking into the smoke shop. All right, let's start it over. This is crazy. Look at these fools.
Caught on camera, another smoke shop targeted by vandals. We are seeing what appears to be two teenagers breaking into this Miami business.
Local 10's Gabrielle Arzola is live in Miami with a closer look at the video and what we're learning this morning. Good morning, Gabby.
Hey there, guys. Good morning. It was a break-in that ended with smoke. The door still boarded up and the crooks are long gone. It was around 7 a.m. Two kids pull up on their scooters,
7 a.m.
hoodies on and eyes locked on a smoke shop called The Joint on Biscayne Boulevard. In this surveillance video, you can see one teen pressing his face on the glass, the other repeating the words Zaza, which is a term for weed. After staring through the window, one kid grabbed a rock and chucked it to the door. After a few throws, they were in. The teens ran around the store for 10 minutes, grabbing anything and everything they saw, vapes, CBD, and this bong being stuffed into one boy's pants. And just like that, police say they made out with more than $10,000 worth of merchandise. Now, if you have any information on who these teens are, you're urged to call Miami police. In Miami...
Yeah, they'll be caught soon enough. They're idiots. And honestly, you know that they're fiends and crackheads, and it's very disturbing at their age because they actually probably went there to buy something. Like, you look at these fools. Let me see where they're at. Like, look at them. They're on electric scooters, right? They go there. They need their za. They need their weed. But when they actually broke into the store, They didn't even take the most valuable things that were in there. They did this actually unplanned. They did not plan to do this. One guy doesn't even have a mask on. He presses his face up against the glass, leaving DNA right there. They have no gloves on. They throw the rock through the window, probably left the rock in there with fingerprints all over it. They're easily identifiable with backpacks, shorts, and shoes that they probably didn't get rid of after the crime or burn or destroy. So it's going to be sitting in their bedroom in their mom's basement. And they'll be caught soon enough. But the fact that they went in there and only stole $10,000 worth of stuff, and they had 10 minutes to do so, which is a very long time, and it's at 7 in the morning, is incredible. And the most expensive things are going to be in those display cases, but there's probably some cash in there as well and other equipment that would have been more expensive. And honestly, you want to grab the stuff that's already boxed. Like, they're grabbing random items, which are very difficult to hold. They went in there with their backpacks already full, most likely with school supplies, even though they're probably not going to go to school at all. And they're just idiots. So they go in there and they only get 10 grand worth of stuff. That's only $1,000 a minute. And you got carte blanche to steal whatever you want. And they only stole stuff that they really wanted to use just to get high with. And trust me, they stole $10,000 retail, but the company probably paid about maybe $1,000 for the products that they stole. But all you need to know is this. Where is he at? This guy right here, this dummy, that stuffed a weed bong in his pants, and he shagging. And we about to get really high. I want to smoke some jaw. I want to smoke some cookies. I don't even care if I get caught. I know I'm gonna get caught, but I can get high right now. Right now, that's all I care about is now. I don't care about consequences. I just want to get high. I want to get high. Yeah, I'm disappointed in the criminals nowadays. What happened to the criminals that used to actually like commit crime and have some type of strategy to their crimes? Like to the point where they were trying not to get caught. These guys are doing everything that they can to get caught. And they won't even be able to smoke up all the drugs by the time they're arrested. So it's pretty crazy. But as dumb as these guys are, I don't think they're as dumb as the actual cops. And you might say, what do you mean? The cops are going to end up catching these guys. I don't mean these cops that are going to be on the job to catch these numbskulls. I mean this cop right here that got himself shot in the hand by a 3-year-old with his own gun.
A deputy with the Harris County Sheriff's Office is in the hospital after they say he was shot by his 3-year-old nephew.
ABC 13's Pooja Lodia has been in the neighborhood where the shooting happened. She's been there all afternoon and is live with the latest. Pooja.
This truly is a horribly tragic situation. And as one investigator just put it, it was completely preventable. Now, just a little while ago, we did see investigators lead a toddler from inside this home. They've surrounded this home as they investigate exactly what happened. According to the Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's Office, a Harris County Sheriff's deputy was home. He was actually sleeping right at around 11:30 this morning. His mother, we're told, was in the kitchen cooking when suddenly that deputy was shot in his left hand. Investigators do believe that the deputy's 3-year-old nephew pulled the trigger. They believe that gun was unlocked in a holster on the deputy's duty belt. Is the whole family in the house? So you got nephew, which is not the son of the officer that was shot. So he's there, but then his mother's there.
So his brother's son is there as a 3-year-old. The mom's in there cooking breakfast at 11 a.m., which should have been closer to lunch. And then the dad is sleeping at 11:30 a.m., having a dream, and woke up to thinking that he got shot in his dream, but he was actually shot in real life by his nephew. And he wakes up to a baby holding a gun like a Chucky doll, aimed at him. And, luckily it didn't hit him in the dome. And luckily the kid didn't kill itself. So my thing is this. The kid could have killed the mom cooking breakfast. And there's nobody in the house, even the kid, that has any type of sense. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you 100% that I wouldn't have shot my uncle with a gun when I was 3 years old. And you might say, how is that possible? You have no idea to know what you would. Nope, I know I wouldn't have, because I got common sense. And common sense is only instilled in a select few of us. 90% of kids probably would shoot their uncle with a gun on accident. But other people wouldn't. And I'm putting myself in that category. How do I know? Because it's never happened. And I've been around firearms, legal and illegal, and it's never happened. At any age, even as a 16-year-old, like I've had access to do so many dangerous and criminal things and stupid things that I have never done. I could have been a cokehead. I could have been breaking into vape smoke stores, stealing bongs and vape cartridges and cigarettes. I never did. I could have shot people in the hand while they were sleeping that were my uncle. I never did. I could have popped Molly and did bars and sipped lean and committed crimes that I was easily caught for. I never did. So my thing is this. There are some people that are just prone to end up in terrible situations, and they're just not competent people. And, I think it's unfortunate for this kid because he's being raised by incompetence. Everybody in the house should be ashamed of themselves. But, again, I was left around, and I mean at a young age. All right, let's give him a little credit on being 3 years old, all right? He might think it's just a cap gun or something like at 3. I don't even know what the hell a 3-year-old is thinking about, but I know it shouldn't be about shooting your uncle. But let's move that to the side. Let's move it up to like a 6 or 7-year-old. Under no circumstances, when I was 6 or 7, did I mistake shooting somebody at any point. So, that's just me. I think there's a lot of y'all out there because y'all are one of the smartest audiences on the planet. So I'm not talking about y'all specifically unless I am, but I'm not. Because y'all are incredible. I consider y'all family, and I give y'all a round of applause. And even if you are not that smart now, you will be after this. Because you're watching this and you're realizing that, hey, look, if you got a nephew in the house and your brother's a little off key, you might not want to leave your weapon in the holster laying around where said kid can get a hold of it. Because you'll probably end up getting...
That deputy, they say, called 911 himself. He was taken to the hospital. The sheriff says his injuries are not life-threatening, but there are so many questions that remain here. Like, why did this deputy have a gun that was unsecured? And what will happen now? Neighbors have been coming by wanting to know more.
We have firearms at my house. We have them locked up in the safe and everything, and there's never a moment where they're just left out or in reach of a kid at all.
Now, all of this remains under...
Here's this guy. It'll never happen to me. Look at this guy here. It'll never happen to me. It won't happen to me because I'll never leave a gun out. You're also going to have your gun locked away in a safe. You're going to have the magazine 100 feet away locked in another safe. You're going to have a lock around your gun that you need a key to get out. So when somebody breaks into your crib and you hear the dogs barking, and you got a split second to figure out where your firearm is and try to discharge it before the criminal that has the drop on you can shoot you through the head, you're going to be over there like, hey, criminal, hold on 1 second. I just got to open my safe real quick. Oh, let me see. 30. All right, back. Ah, fuck that. I got to start all over from the beginning. You know, the master locks, you got to turn them one way and then you got to go backwards. I don't even remember how to do that now. But everybody knows we had the master locks in the locker where it was the code where you got to twist it and all that. And he over there like, oh, I messed up the sequence. Killer's over there just like, come on, I'm on the clock. You know what? Criminal's like, you know what? I got my watch on. I'm going to go ahead and I'll give you 60 seconds to go ahead and get your gun out. All right, cool, I got you. So then within 30 seconds, he gets the safe open. Then he grabs his firearm. But now he has a lock through the trigger. Then he has to run back in the kitchen and grab the key off the hook. He comes back. He got 50 seconds left. He opens the lock up, takes it out. He got 5 seconds left. He should be good, right? Oh, damn, I got the magazine away from the gun. He runs over to grab a magazine. As he's grabbing the magazine to put it into the gun, killer shoots him in the back of the head. Game over. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to have a firearm that's for personal protection and you have it locked away in a safe with a gun lock on it and the magazine and it's not even loaded and ready to go. What's the point? Now, if you live in a fortress and you got time to know that they're trying to break in and breach the door, maybe you got time to do all of that. But, you know, honestly, it's not the guns that are the problem. It's the idiots that have the guns that are the problem. And that's never going to change. I would never be worried about my kids shooting me with a gun. Ever. Under every circumstance. It would never happen. I can guarantee it.
Or in reach of a kid at all.
Now, all of this remains under investigation. I did speak with a spokesperson from the Harris County Sheriff's Office. He says that this will be looked into by the Internal Affairs Department, but there are still questions like, will this deputy be criminally charged? Could he be disciplined within the Sheriff's Office? Investigators, as you can see, remain here on scene. We will keep you updated.
They're going to keep it internal. Because I believe was it a service weapon that he got shot with? This will be internal. They won't bring him up on charges or anything like that. You know, maybe Child Protective Services will get involved, but they'll give him a break. He punished himself enough already he's the laughingstock of the police department at this point. And, you know, obviously it could have been fatal, but it wasn't. So hopefully, you know, recovers full function of his hand and, you know, he'll be good. But at this point, you know, he's already paid the price. He's learned his lesson. I don't think there's much that you need to do to this guy. You know, give him credit. He's a cop, hopefully a good cop. Incompetent, yes, but he could have a good heart and actually do police work the right way. So I don't even think, me personally, I don't think he should be punished anything more than, you know, maybe a slap on the wrist internally and move on from there. Yeah. If anybody that should be in trouble, it should be the kid that shot him, but they won't do anything to the 3-year-old. But the 3-year-old, bro, like, he's damn near, I mean, he damn near, he tried to take his uncle out. I would actually argue to say that the 3-year-old did it on purpose, but that's just me. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We always like to end the stream with a positive story. We always want to end the stream with a positive story. I don't like going out on a bad note. You'll talk to some women and they'll like, I mean, I've had girlfriends like this where like, you know, we have a little argument. I don't really argue with people very often. But we could have a disagreement more or less, right? I'm not really the type of person that's going to say negative things and annihilate you like that. I just don't really see the point in it. I think that it's pretty stupid, right? We didn't get to the ghost story. Damn, I didn't get to the ghost story. We'll do the ghost story tomorrow. We'll lead off with the ghost, the ghost students tomorrow. I want to talk about that. We ran out of time though. But yeah, so, but I don't know. We got to do a positive story because, like, and I agree with it. I don't really think, like, you should really, I don't know. I don't think you should really be saying a lot of negative things. For me, it's up. Like, I'm not really going to talk very much. I mean, I will talk a lot, but not in a negative way towards people. I think
Good news tonight on this first weekend of spring about new possibilities and having something to look forward to.
I want us to look forward to spring, though, because it is coming up in about 6 weeks.
It's a time of blossoms
Maybe 7
and
weeks.
new beginnings. A nation weary of winter, now waking up to spring.
I see no matter how the temperature changes, no matter what the news says, no matter what happens, the buds are coming out.
I'm looking forward to kind of just the sun for spring.
I'm looking forward to getting out and about.
Y'all looking forward to spring?
A bunch of clothes. I'm really excited for it to start warming up.
It's so cold outside right now.
Jump-starting joy.
I'm looking forward to going to the Yankees. I'm looking forward to everything blooming in New York.
I am looking forward to the weather changing and taking long walks with my dogs.
It's fantastic. It reminds you that there are good things in the world.
And love is blooming, too.
My long-distance girlfriend recently moved into the city, so I'm excited to spend more time with her in person.
Seeing my granddaughters makes me very, very happy.
Coming up is my daughter's second birthday. My partner and I worked through IVF to be able to have her, so I love her very much, Clover Ray.
It's a time for celebrating connections.
I made a new best friend who's an international student from Spain. Something that uplifts me is my friends and family and seeing them every day.
The winter thaw melting into new memories.
My best friend and I, Kevin, we checked off a bucket list item and played golf out at Pebble Beach.
Springtime bursting with so much possibility.
I'm gonna move to New York City and hopefully get cast on Broadway.
The thing I'm looking forward to is creating more health and abundance of health in my life.
I'm looking forward to spring and taking my daughter out, and I feel like this is the year where she'll experience the spring for the first time.
And so many proud moments.
I got accepted to medical school.
Wow.
Straight A's.
Straight A's, I got straight A's. I got accepted into my dream college, so I'm really looking forward to that.
She got some really nice teeth.
Straight A's. I got accepted into my dream college.
Look at that. Let me zoom in real quick. Look at those teeth, bro. Look at the front, too. She's a nice looking person overall. Yeah, shout out to her. I didn't even hear what she said. I was just looking at her teeth. Hold on, let me see what she said. Hold on.
Straight A's. Straight A's, I got straight A's. I got accepted into my dream college, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Something that's good that's happened to us recently is that we're performing in Carnegie Hall.
Also welcoming the warmer weather, our very best friends.
Seeing the dogs, petting the dogs, that makes me really happy.
This little one, this Paddington bear right here. How can a dog not bring you joy?
Longer days mean more light and more warmth. A hopeful reminder to make the most of every precious moment.
You know, happiness is inside. It's the joy of being alive, joy of connecting. In fact, I have tears in my eyes just saying that. I feel so grateful to be alive and to be.
You know what? Even a dog looks like it wants to cry as well. Or maybe it looks like it just wants to get some food. Either way, I like this story. I think that it's great. You know, I like ending our streams on a positive note. You know, I want y'all to have an amazing rest of your day, rest of your evening at this point, depending on where you're at in the world or country. And just really enjoy it. Like, you know, you can't get moments back. We get these one opportunities to do something within the time frame that we're in. Like, you know, for me, it's 5:32 right now. 17:32, the way it looks on my clock. And I know that I can never get 17:32 back. And I'm spending this time with y'all, and I'm talking about something positive that feels good to all of us. It feels good to this woman that is in the frame. It feels good to the lady with the beautiful teeth. It feels good. And feelings is all that we have at the end of it. And I want y'all to feel good. I care about y'all a lot. And it may not show all the time, especially when I'm annihilating y'all for getting shot in the hand by a 3-year-old. But just know that everything that I say is out of care and compassion, even when it comes out very crass and harsh. Crass and harsh. So I was going to take us out with a song again. We're going to play that song one more time. Confidence. This is my music. This is my music. You know, I really enjoy doing music. Like, it's something that I am passionate about. I'm not trying to be an artist exactly, but I just want to put it out for the people because I feel like it's really important that we all leave something here to help out others. And, you know, that's what I want to help. So if you ever have any issue with confidence, you know, this is one that you have to listen to because it's very helpful. It's very, very helpful. All right, let's let it take us out. It's not mixed. It's going to be on my album. I'm going to put out
The Truth or the Lie.
I'm going to let it take us out.
I always smell like Yves Saint Laurent or Rose Parfum Oud. My teeth are clean, floss no food. Body when it's naked looks like a statue, no jewels. I'm a work of art, no tools. I use more brain power than the average human, no fool. My cock works hard like a chicken fight, so cruel. I'll never work like a slave for you, no mule. Born in 87, but use premium fuel. I don't hold grudges with brothers, it's cool. Never got indoctrinated, still learn my academics in school. I'm black, and I can swim in a pool. I'll get over our relationship quick like a black cat firework wick. You gaslighted me, it was swift like a Twix high split. When you threatened to replace me with whatchamacallit, that was it. Confidence. I don't lie no matter the consequence. I got confidence. I'll put the work in to obtain opulence. Confidence. I'm an independent thinker, autonomous. I got confidence. I'll do my best in anything I participate in. Confidence. In my live stream for the night, then I'm chilling playing PS5 or one of my other consoles. Lady, I'm not driving your Chevrolet Tahoe, and I don't want to move in your house. I got a condo, I won't stay overnight, cause I can't fall asleep there. Your mattress ain't comfy enough. I'm used to Tempur-Pedic Plus. You've already had other men skeeted and yuck. It wasn't luck, I was prepared when my opportunity came up. You're the fool that believes that I made it abrupt. I don't take shortcuts, I always give it 100% like a buck. I had to cut my last relationship and reconstruct. Now she ain't on this team like a Milwaukee Buck. She wanted to test free agency for a Brinks truck like Isaiah Thomas to only end up in a 10-day contract with the Suns. Confidence. I don't lie no matter the consequence. I got confidence. I'll put the work in to obtain opulence. Confidence. I'm an independent thinker.
Y'all have a really, really good day.
I got confidence.
I appreciate y'all.
I'll do my best in anything I participate in.
I'm DotSale. I'm out of here.
Confidence.
It's always my pleasure, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow, all right?